So today I was going to give a demonstration of how to replace the motor on one of these high quality Flint and Walling booster pumps. And there's a reason that I use the Flint and Walling booster pump, and it's pretty much, this boils down to it from a consumer standpoint. We had a service call where the customer lost water. So they wake up, there's no water, it's a huge pain in the ass. So I get the phone call, come out, see what's going on, and the start capacitor was popped. And it turns out that the neighbor came over a few months ago in this story and had replaced the start capacitor when the water had failed. For some reason, because people do silly things, the customer didn't call me, his well guy, who he has the cell phone number of and will answer late at night. He called his neighbor. The neighbor did come over, got the water back on. He was an air conditioning technician. Got the water back on, and that was great. But in the process, he left the motor in a way where it eventually burned up the motor, or in this case, had some more issues. We came out, replaced the start capacitor. I solved the issue the gentleman made, and unfortunately, the problem persists. We did some overtime log testing. That wasn't an issue whatsoever, so it's just the motor has gone kaput. So what we're going to do now is replace it. On the competing model of pump, the competing manufacturer, I should say, their philosophy is if they sell more pumps and more motors, they will make more money. And business-wise, short term, that makes a lot of sense. But long term, it pisses people off. So in this instance, we do in fact have a need to replace this motor. It happens. In fact, it wasn't the motor's fault, however, but it is the result. It does result in motor failure. So now we're here replacing it. And so what we need to do is just take off the 4 motor bolts. Then we must undo the motor shaft from the pump. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And if that doesn't work, you just go the other way. And if that doesn't work, you go the other way, but with a little more force. If that doesn't work, you would hold up. If you're right-handed, you pretend like you write. So you righty-tighty, and then you, right. Then, once you've broken it loose, you take this time to contemplate how could you ever do this faster? Could they have given us a larger window? Maybe a third hand would be nice. Where the hell is Steven? Shift doesn't start yet, but still, you know. Reach in with your fingers, overly hopeful. Pause the video. Hey Josh! Great. I'm just kidding, Josh is great. I love when my customers watch. But I talk with my hands. And if you talk with your hands, you don't get work done. Okay, old motor, boom. New motor, boom. Oh shit. Make sure your surfaces are clean. Mounting surfaces, that is. Always thread the motor into the shaft first, or you will push the bearings off of the rotor, and I'm an expert, so I'm speaking from experience, okay? All right, all the way in. Josh will be coming over and joining us. See if I can get done before then. Now, I want to point out the whole time they've maintained water pressure. So the pump did work just enough and get going. So they do have water pressure. They could theoretically be taking a shower right now, and I could turn the water off, well, the pump off. They wouldn't know. I have had the customer come out with soap in the hair, and I go, oops. Okay.
What can I do for you? You want a cup of coffee?
You can just stand there. Feel free to watch. I'll pretend I'm talking to you, just like my normal spiel would be. But we haven't even reduced water pressure in your system. The new motor is bolted on.
How is that possible? Is that a one-way valve?
So how is that possible? There is a mechanical shaft seal. And so just like, how is it possible that this valve stem also controls a valve on a 60 PSI system? Seals. Not like, you know, otters and seals, but you know, like mechanical seals.
So it's just a one-way thing, nothing backflows.
So, you know, it's actually called an evaporative seal. So a small amount of fluid will actually get in between the ceramic and the graphite moving pieces. The ceramic is usually the stationary, and that gets stuck in the metal. And then the graphite piece mates up to it and will rotate like this. And some of the fluid, in this case water, does get lost. It reduces the heat and the friction and such, but it's a calculated amount. I have a whole book on mechanical shaft seals. So just like that, the motor's bolted on. Now we just want to torque the motor to the shaft. Torque, and we'll hook up the wires, and that'll be that. It's fine, you know that, baby guy.
Freaking A.
So that was the mechanical part there.
So the whole impeller thing is that what that thing is there?
That's right here. That's what that is. He's pointing to the new pump that I pulled the motor off because I didn't have a singular one in stock. But that's the thing is, in a Gould's booster pump, you would have replaced the whole unit, pump and motor. Because, well, you know, by the time you take apart the entire pump, all the seals, replace the wear items, which in Gould's case is the impellers.
Right. You might as well just freaking replace it.
Oh, I wonder if Gould's figured that out. So,
but we're not going to mess with that now, right?
This is a Flint and Walling.
Yeah, it's not going to.
So why would you trash that when your neighbor, who we went over is a good guy, but probably was what caused your windings to burn out because he didn't have his centrifugal switch hooked up. So when he put his capacitor in here, it was too big. This board didn't set correctly, and that's where a button is to tell it to turn on and off.
Right.
So it wasn't able to turn this button
I see it.
on and off.
Yeah.
So he just thought this was an electrical board. Dude, that's our mission.
Right.
And he just, you know, so you just can't, you know, solve that sort of damage. You know, that's just, well, that's what happens.
Well, we did pretty good not using up all the pressure last time.
Yeah. Do you still have water right now?
Take a shower.
You have not ran out of water yet?
No, not at all. Not at all. We kept it down to a very to a minimum. You know.
Right. You have 44 gallons. That's plenty. That's, you know, military shower. You know, Navy shower. Right. That's plenty.
44 gallons, so 22.
There we go.
Look at that.
Hey, math is easy. I'm not going to go into deeper detail. You can call me at 760-703-0548 for all your pump and water needs.
BG Pump.
BG Pump. If you're within, like, you know, a 15 mile of Ramona, California, which is a small town in San Diego. So right now we're just hooking up the wires, no big deal. I'll show you my proprietary wiring method, but I'm not going to.
I should be standing over there with the camera too.
Creative juices flowing. Josh is an audio video technician, so he is all about talking to the camera.
No, I'm backstage usually in the dark.
Okay, that was a good take. Let's roll it again. You know, I was on a season of Speed Channel's Drag Race High.
Yeah.
Where it was which is to say a cheap cable TV show.
Yeah.
But, dude, you know, I've been on a reality TV show, and it's like, it's cool to see how it all worked, you know?
When was this?
2009. Drag Race High. I got the...
Oh, that's right. I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was the talk of the town.
Shop class.
So we're going to turn it on and see. I want to go handheld here. Everything should work. And we'll turn it on real quick just to see. You know, it's probably at pressure, or is it?
Yeah, it's full of pressure.
It's full of pressure. Yeah, no big deal. Just as expected, nothing happened when I turned on the power. I knew that was going to not happen. Now that shows you that the whole time, it wasn't even asking for water. He was at pressure. I made a massive pump repair, and the customer used water the whole time.